Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kimball.
Sit down. It's very nice to see you all again. Meet my very good friend Phoebe O'Hara.
Good morning, Phoebe.
Now, Miss O'Hara is going to talk to you about something very important. So I want you to pay real attention to what she has to say, okay? Remember, no fear.
Thanks. Yeah?
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Hey, Dr. Beth Robinson, this is Carlos Isasiga, getting ready to present our sex education lesson for HSC 6322 Human Sexuality class for Lubbock Christian University. As I stated in our paper, our objective for this lesson is to provide a clear, concise, and comfortable educational experience for children within the ages of birth through 11 years of age. The goal of the material within this lesson is to engage its students in the different aspects of human sexuality, the physical part, the psychological, and the spiritual. Within this brief time, I'll cover basic human anatomy for both the boys and the girls, puberty, sexual intercourse, and masturbation. Below you'll find a simple outline in the paper that any teacher can grab and use. Also, I've attached via email a PowerPoint presentation to go along with this lesson plan. I guess I'll begin with the human anatomy of the body. We all know and understand that God has created all humanity to look alike. We all have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 hands, 2 legs, 1 nose, but we also know that He's also created us to be different, man and woman to be different, and with that we're going to have different body parts. We're all going to have different parts that distinguish us from man and woman. In this section we will cover the anatomy of boys and anatomy of girls, both external and internal, genitals and reproductive organs. Again, in the PowerPoint there are pictures and that can aid the teacher in teaching this material. The anatomy of boys. A boy's private parts or genitals or reproductive organs mainly consist of the penis and the testicles. The shape and the size is going to vary from boy to boy. The penis is made up of tissue. Boys may also have been circumcised or not circumcised according to one of our authors in one of the books that I use as a reference. They say that circumcision is an operation in which the foreskin, a special skin covering the top of the penis, is removed. And a boy's penis consists of several different parts. The external parts are the shaft, the glands, the ridge or the corona, the scrotum that holds the testicles. It is also made up of some internal parts. The testicles, the epididymis, the sperm duct, the bladder, seminal vesicles, prostate, the urethra, and the urinary opening. God has created all boys with these parts. They come in different sizes and colors, and there's nothing to be ashamed about. The anatomy of girls. Girls' private parts, their genitals or reproductive organs, also consist of external and internal organs. We'll begin with the external organs. The external sex organs of a woman are called the vulva. The vulva is made up of other parts as well. They are the mons, the outer and inner lips, the clitoris, the urinary and vaginal opening, and the anus. The internal organs are the ovaries, the uterine tubes, the uterus, the uterine lining, the cervix, and the vagina. Girls also develop breasts as they begin to their growth process and begin to reach puberty. Breasts are made up of mostly fat, milk glands, and milk ducts. Their main purpose is for producing milk for babies. Breast size will vary from individual to individual. There are 5 stages that take place in this growth process of the breast for girls. The parts of the breast are the nipple and the areola. Every girl's sexual organs will vary in how they look. Don't be alarmed. God has created us all in a magnificent way. Now we go to the subject of puberty. This is a time in which the body of a young boy, a young girl, begins to go through a lot of different changes, mainly due to hormones, and those hormones are going to cause physical changes within the body. It's the time in which you begin to grow from childhood more to adulthood. Because of this, girls, you'll begin to have a menstrual cycle too. Girls will get taller, hips will get wider, breasts will grow, and hair will begin to grow in places where there was none before. Boys, you'll get taller also. Your shoulders will get wider, muscles will get bigger for some. Your voice will get deeper, and hair will also grow in places where there was none before. Along with these physical changes, you also have some emotional changes. You'll begin to be more concerned with the way you look, with what others think, and where you fit into this world. And your relationships will also begin to change, how you feel about people, and some of those close relationships will begin to see some changes as well. Boys, you might be asking, as we've covered the boys' genitals, the boys' sexual organs, you might be asking, what is an erection? Well, when your penis changes shape by getting longer and harder, then you're having an erection. When the penis is erect, it is erect because of the tissue in the penis has been filled with blood. An erection can come and go very quickly. When your penis begins to not erect any longer, it means that the blood in it is going back out of the penis and back into the body. Why do erections occur to me? You may be asking. Erections can occur for many different reasons. Erections may happen in your sleep, when you wake up, when you urinate, or when you need to urinate, when you see something sexy or have a sexy thought, feel sexy, or just for no reason alone, it may happen. Having erections is a very normal thing that happens to your penis. Then we go to the first M word that we'll cover is masturbation. And what is it? Well, masturbation is when you touch yourself to achieve sexual gratification. In girls, it happens by touching the clitoris. In boys, it happens by stroking the shaft of the penis repeatedly. This is a subject that can be discussed in a broader way with your dad and mom due to the potential effects that too much of this can cause to you emotionally, physically, and also spiritually. So I advise this subject you talk more in depth with your mom and dad. A girl's menstrual cycle. What is it? In the Girl's Guide to Becoming a Teen, Middleman writes that approximately once a month your ovaries will release an egg. The egg travels from the ovary into the connecting fallopian tube, and then through the fallopian tube into your uterus. Every month your uterus gets ready for a possible pregnancy. The lining of the wall of the uterus gets thicker so that a fertilized egg will have a place to grow and develop. The lining, which is called the endometrium, is made up of blood and tissue. If the egg is not fertilized, the uterus does not need all the extra lining, so the lining dissolves and leaves the body through the vagina in the form of blood. This is called menstruation, or more commonly a period. A menstrual cycle may last anywhere up to 30 days. Your period may last about a week, and to help the bleeding during this time, you may use sanitary pads or tampons to help the bleeding. Accompanied with your period, you will also deal with cramps and PMS. Now let's talk about sex. Lastly, due to the changes that you've gone through in puberty, your body will be equipped to be able to have sexual intercourse and to reproduce. Sex is a very intimate act that you and another person share. Sexual intercourse usually begins when a man and a woman begin to physically have close contact with each other, usually kissing, touching, caressing, and holding each other close. The man will more likely get an erection, while the woman's vagina will produce more moisture than usual. The next thing that happens is that the man will insert his erect penis into the woman's vagina and begin a back and forth motion. This motion will stimulate and bring pleasure to the man and woman until they both climax or have an orgasm. The man usually climaxes by ejaculating, that is when sperm is produced in the testicles and flows out of the penis. Sexual intercourse and any other sexual acts must be taken seriously. Through sexual intercourse, girls can become pregnant and boys can become fathers way too soon. Through sexual intercourse and other sexual acts, there is also the risk of STIs, sexually transmitted infections. It's important that you know that sex is an important thing to God and should be something that you talk to your mom and dad about. Sex is something beautiful when it is done in the will of God. And that is my lesson for sex ed for children from birth through 11 years of age. I hope you received the PowerPoint and will get this video. Thank you very much, Dr. Beth.